Ev to Phil, June 24th, 1941. My beloved, don't look now, but that woman is here again. How are the maneuvers, dearest, and how are they affecting you? The weather changed suddenly here. Yesterday, all day it was roasting. Then in the evening, it became very, very windy and chilly. If this has happened, quote, down Virginia way, end quote, I hope it has not caused you any discomfort insofar as the return of your cold is concerned. I can't for the life of me picture you feeling ill or uncomfortable. So, sweet, will you assure me of your good health and well-being at your earliest convenience? I know the conditions for you at the present are not superb. The problem of food to keep you well nourished, yet not causing heartburn, and resting quarters that do not afford you the ease and comfort you are accustomed to having is really something to contend with. But think, sweet, when you return, you'll be able to say you're the, quote, real McCoy, end quote. Grrr. I retired at approximately 10:45 last night and awoke this morning feeling pleasantly refreshed and completely recovered from the effects brought about by extensive travel. For your information, this is the most extensive trip I have made to date. However, I would gladly make the trip daily if I knew I would be compensated by a hug, a kiss, and 3 precious words from you. If you will recall, in my last letter, I mentioned I was to meet my father, who had promised to give me a few dollars. Well, sweet, he kept his promise. He gave me a $5 bill, and what's more, he gave me 3 large packages of delicious cookies to forward to you. I'm going to send them along, even though you may not get them until you return to Fort Meade, because they will be as fresh in a month as they are now. I'll probably send 1 or 2 packages, keeping the 3rd for the family. Incidentally, page 2, the money is a godsend. I'll have my complete wardrobe cleaned and pressed, and if there is anything remaining, I'll get those much-needed stockings. As you can see, his intentions are good, both to my mother, myself, and you. It's just that he gets caught in a rut every once in a while and can't even help himself. He's still the swellest pop a gal ever had. The latest reports concerning Phil Strongen, our dear cousin, are that he was recently involved in a smash-up. He did all the smashing. Arrested and released. 3 women were seriously injured, according to your mother. His car was badly damaged, and generally he's not too well off. This may be the bunk, and when I learn what actually did occur that differs from my explanation herein contained, I'll keep you posted. I'm writing this letter in rough on office time, typing it too. Mr. Newsom has just asked me, quote, whether I'm writing to my husband, end quote. I answered, quote, yes, any objections, end quote. He replied, quote, no, sir, as long as you keep yourself busy, it's perfectly all right, end quote. It's fairly quiet, giving me an opportunity to send you a long, drawn-out letter, which I know you will appreciate, but which I haven't had the time and patience to write otherwise. By the way, I noticed an error in the spelling of a word used frequently in your letters. The word is, quote, occasion, end quote, with 1 S, not occasion, quote, with 2 S's, as you have been spelling it. I'm getting so good that I've even taken it upon my shoulders to correct you. Some nerve, haven't I? I'm enclosing a clipping that I cut from the Broadway Gazette column in the Record. Pay heed, it's pretty good advice. Also listed among my accomplishments is the letter I wrote concerning the magazine. I explained your position, saying you enjoyed the magazine, wanted them to continue sending it, and would they bear with us a little longer. I also said that any consideration shown you would be highly appreciated. I'll probably receive an answer shortly. Page 3. Morty Greitzer is in the Army now. His departure early this morning brought to mind a morning exactly 2 months previous, and it wasn't very pleasant. Yesterday's newspaper carried an article which read something like this, : The Army is not sure that it will release all of the men now in service at the end of the year. It may be necessary to keep them in service so that there will not be a continuous flow of all, quote, new and untrained men, unquote. I received your Saturday, June 21st letter today. Phil, you are a beautiful writer, and I do mean beautiful. If I could write the way you do, I would not hesitate to impress upon people that I was possessed of unusual ability. Your ability is unusual in that it makes good reading material, regardless of what you write. 7:20 p.m. at home. It was at this point that Mr. Jaffe and Mr. Matoski walked into the office, starting things humming. The only reason I send these half and half letters is because the typewritten part goes quickly, containing more than I could write in longhand. If I wrote this entire letter in longhand, it would be more than 6 pages. Evidently, Jake is not going to see Yvette anymore. He says thanks for the advice. Page 4. But thinks he'll wait until she comes to him. My letters vary in accordance with my moods. Sometimes I have no difficulty at all being explicit and thorough, while on other occasions, underline, I must ponder for the correct expressions. I will grant you that my letters have become more mature. I too can feel myself growing up. Ed's girlfriend was shocked when I told her you were 26 and I 19. She thought you were about 24 and I at least 20 or 21. She said I seemed very settled. Mom sends her love and regards and sincerely hopes that maneuvers aren't getting the best of you. I'll close with all the admiration a woman can have for the man who she adores. Ev. Phil to Ev, June 24th, 8:30 p.m. Dear Ev, I'm writing this in the canteen, converted barn, in parentheses, because it affords the only light in the camp. There are a million guys milling around me. Today was pretty tough. After walking 3 miles, we struck out through the woods, which were so thick we literally had to chop our way through. After a few hours of this, we hit the road for camp. Alas, we went the wrong way, 5 miles worth. So they sent the trucks out after us. Jack shaved me tonight and vice versa, parentheses, no mirrors, end parens. Received your most welcome letter. Love to all. Take good care of my Chippy. Your loving husband, Phil.